First tonight, growing calls for new laws to crack down on a controversial business practice known as phoenixing. Named after the mythical bird, the practice refers to companies which collapse owing creditors large amounts of money. From the ashes, another company rises to take its place, but free of debt. An ABC investigation has uncovered an apparent case of phoenixing involving a Sydney franchise of the national Ray White Real Estate Group. The company went into liquidation more than 5 months ago, owing hundreds of thousands of dollars in staff entitlements, including salary and unpaid leave. This report from Simon Santo.
We are selling here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, at $580,000, bidder number 3, at $580,000.
Sydney's eastern suburbs, the sun, the sand and the sea, and a lifestyle to aspire to.
Selling with Callaghan, congratulations.
It's real estate gold, a thriving property market able to weather the ups and downs of the economic climate. And there are rich commissions to be earned by high-performing property agents. But few would ever guess the turmoil that's gone on within this franchise of one of the nation's biggest real estate companies.
There are some people who've been there for almost 10 years and, you know, they've lost all of their long service, all of their benefits.
No one knew that were going on. That was the problem. It had been atrociously managed.
They broke up marriages there, relationships, people weren't paying their mortgages, and people's health suffered enormously for that period of time.
With 21 years in the industry, Natalie Zulian knows real estate inside out, but she's never experienced anything like her time as a commission-only sales agent at Ray White Randwick. These days she's working for herself, but she spent the past 5 months fighting for tens of thousands of dollars owed to her by her former employer.
I'd like to be paid my money. That is owing to me. I wrote the business and it's sitting in their bank account. It's going to lock up.
Natalie Zulian is one of a long line of creditors out of pocket since the collapse of the service company behind Ray White Randwick.
Each day, where's my wages, where's my wages, where's my commission? You know, it's coming, we're sorting through it, you know, we'll get it to you, that sort of thing.
I decided to be vigilant, to pay attention to my gut. And my gut was telling me that things just weren't quite right.
Tracy Parkinson's instinct rang true. She joined Ray White Randwick in a senior property management role in March this year. But within weeks, she discovered problems in the business.
That's exactly what's happened.
But as far as your payslip was concerned, what did that show?
My payslip showed that I was paying super.
And the other people who were complaining?
And there's also.
But she and other employees later discovered there'd been no super contributions paid for a year, and there was worse to come.
We were given the news that the company had been experiencing some financial difficulty and for a number of reasons that the company was going to liquidate.
I can't give any explanation why something that works so perfectly in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of our offices would go so astray here.
Did you enjoy the ferry ride to Manly yesterday?
Brian White is the chairman of the Ray White Group. The family-run company prides itself on being a market leader in residential sales across Australia, New Zealand and Southeast Asia. Ray White Randwick is one of 1,000 franchises in the group.
We can't find any evidence of misproportion or criminal activity or financial fraud in this situation.
To any outsider, it's been business as usual for Ray White Randwick. The official line is the agency's problems stem from its back office operation. Staff salaries and outside labour expenses were paid by a service company called Zest Management. Zest Management is the company that's gone into liquidation. Its directors were real estate veterans Arthur Purtis and Craig Sewell. Both men jumped ship from Zest Management before it folded. Both men have remained principals of Ray White Randwick. If Arthur Purtis and Craig Sewell still control 49% of the company, is that a good look?
Well, they're not going to be controlling the back office. That was their failing. They've been in this business for the Ray White Randwick business is a good business.
So the business of selling real estate continues for the principals of the failed company. Arthur Purtis arrives for the weekly sales meeting of Ray White Randwick. His business partner Craig Sewell is also there. The brother of Arthur Purtis, Napoleon Purtis, not to be confused with the cosmetics king, now holds the controlling interest in the company. How do you feel given that Ray White Randwick is still trading?
Angry, really angry. At no point in this liquidation have they lost a day, a minute trade, where I'm still battling and now in debt further because I've now got a barrister demanding money.
Samantha Finelli believed she was excelling as a senior property manager with Ray White Randwick, but a huge shock awaited her at a meeting with her boss Craig Sewell last year.
He grabbed me with two hands, crying, and said that he had no choice, but, the business wasn't going too well and he had to make me redundant, effective immediately. And at no point leading up to that point did I have any indication that there was a problem. I was going through these the other day.
She asked for redundancy documents and her entitlements. Instead, she got a letter of termination due to poor performance. She fought back, taking the dispute to court. At the 11th hour, Craig Sewell agreed to pay her entitlements and legal fees.
And funnily enough, a week before they were due to pay me my first portion, they went into liquidation. And so that pretty much wipes the debt.
The problem of phoenixing is getting worse. It's been growing consistently over the past decade.
Like the mythical creature from which it derives its name, phoenixing is the term used to describe the practice where a business rises from the ashes of a company that's been wound up. Dun & Bradstreet research reveals that it's an increasingly common practice.
The reason it is alarming is it leaves a wide network of affected parties. It leaves customers out of pocket, suppliers out of pocket, employees who have to walk away without their annual leave entitlements, sometimes unpaid superannuation.
We recognise that the law needs to go a lot further than where it's at the moment, and that's why we want to introduce specific measures that will target these sorts of behaviours from employers and company directors that are looking to, through shonky corporate restructures, trying to avoid their obligations.
Do you think that this smells like phoenixing to you?
Well, I'll tell you after I've got the auditor's report.
You wouldn't rule it out?
I have no reason to rule it in.
Obviously some massive issues that went into that.
The 7:30 report sought interviews with the principals of Ray White Randwick, but was instead referred to the group chairman.
Of course they're going to get their entitlements. We have our own auditors in there. Our company has appointed auditors to Ray White Randwick and its whole structure. We want to know the detail. The new owner, the new major shareholder of Ray White Randwick, is working with the liquidator to ascertain what the entitlements are. And those entitlements will be paid.
From your pocket?
They'll be paid.
How will they be paid?
Look, I'm on camera. They'll be paid.
Are you saying if necessary from your pocket?
Simon, they will be paid. I will talk to you at any time. You can come back to me any time and say, I want a query on that, and I'll be happy to discuss it. Why the foundation of our company requires this to happen.
Within days of recording this interview, some money began to flow. Some staff suddenly received cheques. The 7:30 report understands that Brian White personally put pressure on his franchisees to pay up. The chairman has also placed Ray White Randwick under review. The future of the franchise is uncertain. The truth of what's gone on at this apparently prosperous agency is yet to fully emerge. And some former employees like Samantha Finelli are yet to see their money.
obviously until you get affected by something like this, you don't realise that, you know, the loopholes, and it's just, you know, it's one thing for them to go into liquidation, but it's not legitimate. They're still operating. It's just not right.
Simon Santo with that report, produced by Leslie Robinson.